Welcome. I am here with Samantha Barash. She has many hats, as we all do. She is the founder at the Practice Collective, which we're going to talk about today. And she is also, I'm taking this from her LinkedIn profile. So, Samantha,
Go
you
for
can
it.
put some color on this. You're probably like, what does it say? Non-diet, weight inclusive, registered dietitian and founder at Tap Into Nutrition. So the Practice Collective is, hold on, a membership-based shared office and co-working space designed for private practice professionals to see clients, connect, and collaborate in a secure and supportive environment. That's one of my most favorite headlines on a website ever.
Ooh,
It's
thank
so
you.
clear. Wait, are you a Donald Miller fan?
I don't know who that is.
No. Okay. He wrote a book called Story Brand, which I talk about a lot, and he would give you an A plus for that headline on your website
Yeah.
because it you read it and you know that is for me or that is not for me. And you read it and you know actually that is exactly for me, not just like, well, maybe. You're pretty
Sure.
clear, right?
Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay, thanks.
So nice job. Exactly. Pat on the back. Okay.
Thank you. I'll take it.
So I'm wondering now if you have some sort of marketing background that's not reflected in your.
I can make my website. I'm
Oh,
patting
good. So you
myself on the
hired somebody
back.
who wrote
But
that headline for
yes.
you. Okay. Well, you'll have to give that, we should give them a shout out. Do you want to give them a shout out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who was
Back
it?
talk.
Who is it?
They're called Back Talk.
Back Talk. Ooh, I like it.
One
Okay.
word. And they're a digital marketing agency in Detroit.
Okay. Very
Yeah.
nice.
They're
Okay.
very cool. They're very fun. And their branding is awesome. And yeah, I felt very supported in the journey.
Yeah, good. And your website is very appropriate for co-working. I spent a lot of time on people's websites, which you went through the mail challenge, so we talk about the website experience a lot, but I see so many people who outsource their website. I actually thought maybe you did it yourself, who outsource it and it just doesn't work for co-working. It's designed for like some other industry and yours is great and the copy is wonderful. Okay, so tell
Well,
us your story.
you know,
Yeah.
you get credit for that because my website looked differently when I did the
Oh.
mailbox challenge.
Oh, okay.
So I hired this team at the beginning of this year. So
Oh,
they
okay.
used some of the suggestions that you made.
Oh, great. Okay, love to hear that. Okay. We'll pat us both on the back then.
Well,
Okay, so dietitian. I have a secret like place in my heart for dietitians. My work before co-working,
yeah.
trying to think how many years. It was at least 5 years. I was at a healthcare education startup and we hired a lot of dietitians. We had dietitians on staff and
Yeah.
we trained them on a like proprietary education approach to help people with type 2 diabetes with like lifestyle management. So it was like really interactive group setting. It was very cool. And I worked with a bunch of dietitians and they were fabulous. And we would go to a diet A, big, what do you call them, expos or conferences or whatever. So anyway,
Sure.
I had a
Cool.
lot of dietitians in my life. So tell me your story. Tell me about, yeah, your specialization and then when you decided you needed to also own a co-working space.
Yeah. Thanks for asking. So I went into private practice as a dietitian in 2020.
Okay. Oh,
So I took
great
the
timing. No.
well, it was really because of the
Okay.
pandemic.
So post-pandemic, you're like, okay, what were you doing pre-2020?
I was working in a nonprofit, so I was really enjoying the work that I was doing, but I had a lot of time on my hands, truthfully. I was in just a space where I was doing a lot of trainings, a lot of education on
Okay.
the work that I now do in my private practice, but I was coming up to a ceiling of how much I could really be doing within the nonprofit. And I had the time, I had I wasn't traveling the way that I used to.
Okay.
So,
So did you used to do those in person, like for groups?
so I was always, yes, I was
Okay.
working. like at a nonprofit. That was just my full-time gig. And I
Yeah.
was offering trainings more for just the people that I was working with. So it wasn't
Okay.
even outside
Mhm.
of that. It was just within the community that I was
Okay.
working in. And so it was all in person for the most part. And I saw an opportunity for just like trying to open a virtual private practice. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's, it didn't feel like there was a ton of risk at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So we opened in the winter of 2020. And but within 6 months, I was going part-time. And then a year from then, I had left the nonprofit fully, and I was fully in my private practice. And I loved it. I still love it. It's still very much my passion. It's like what gets me excited, and it feels like it's very much within my skill set.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of me building my private practice was through community, was through meeting people, doing Zoom calls like this, and
Mm-hmm.
getting coffee. And it felt as though I was just kind of sick of the virtual space. I wanted to start to see people in person. I wanted to see my clients in person, but I
Yeah.
also saw an opportunity for more community, especially in the nutrition, wellness, mental health space. There's so much that we're doing that's in silos, right? Like we're starting these private practices, and then we're sitting in our like little offices at home, and we're trying to see as many clients as we can. And it's really quick to burn out, right? Like
Yeah.
I was really missing that community, but I didn't also want to go back to another job, right? I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
for myself. And a friend of mine was working at a co-working space, and there was just like so many tech bros that were next door to her that were so loud, and it was really interrupting her sessions. She wasn't able to
Right.
see her
And her
client.
Zen, she's like trying to be right, client focused and oh
Yeah, someone's
no.
like sharing their trauma, and then like you hear someone like yelling down the hall, right? Like
Right.
it didn't match. It didn't really make sense.
Uh-huh.
And I found a space that I really liked, that I wanted to open, but that I wanted to see clients in, but it was too much space.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad did the maintenance there. So there was like this really cool connection of like, he's been there for a while. He knew the landlords. I was seeking something that just like made sense. It was going to be low overhead on my end too, as I'm like throwing this thing together. And it just made sense to share it with others. And that's kind of where my brain went first, of like, I'm just going to share this office with other people. And very quickly
It's
I
sort of
began,
simple. Like you weren't like, I'm opening a co-working space. You were
no,
thinking, just sharing. I'm gonna make, yeah, this is gonna make sense. Yeah.
but it didn't make sense, right? Because like, how do you
Yeah.
I left out some chapters in there, but there was a time where I was like living and working in Europe for like a whole summer, and it was so much fun and very much in alignment with what I wanted for my future too. Like I didn't want somewhere that I always had to be. I didn't see
Mm-hmm.
transition into in person ever for me. It didn't make sense. So having something that I didn't want an office that was mine full time. I wanted to create
Mm-hmm.
my own office, right? And I honestly just did some Googling. I found, really, shout out to a co-working space in Atlanta, Blue House. Gosh, I'm gonna butcher it. Blue House Wellness, I think it is.
Okay.
And I reached out to the owner and asked if she would do some consulting with me, and she did. And I learned a lot, and I got really excited about it. And we're coming up on our second year anniversary next month.
Okay, so you then sort of expanded like, okay, how do I really make this work? Like the sharing model. So you found them as a good model. You're like, I think that's what I want to do. Okay, how many
Yeah.
square feet do you have?
800 square feet. So
Okay.
we're a small space, we're
Yeah.
four offices, and like a little community room in the middle that all the offices are connected to.
I love that you're packing a punch in 800 square feet because I'm looking at the photo on your website, which has great lighting. That
Mhm.
community space is so cute and it looks really roomy. And then you've got, so your four like practitioner offices, and it's basically everything a shared membership model. So nobody has a dedicated office. Yeah.
Nobody has a dedicated office. No, everything is a shared model.
Okay. Love it.
Yeah.
And They're super cute. Did you do the design yourself?
I did.
Okay. And did you end up in the building that you had first looked at?
Yeah, I
Okay.
never looked anywhere else.
Okay. It just worked. And dad's fixing things when they break? No. You have a
Really,
direct line to the building manager?
well, when I first got the space, my dad's a total talker. Like he just like he loves community, right? Like he loves talking to people and meeting
Hmm.
people. And when we first agreed to it, I was like, hey, you can't tell everyone that you're my dad. And he was like, Sam, I won't. I won't. I was like, okay, cool. I tell everybody.
Oh,
No, it's the best selling point because he's the most helpful, right? Like we never have to worry about
great.
anything.
I
It's
know. My dad's a total handy guy. He would be amazing to have on hand. And so comforting. Isn't it so nice to like, yeah. I mean, I am a full-on adult and we had a mechanical problem with the car and I was like, I think I'm gonna call my dad and ask him about that, you know? I mean, first I asked ChatGPT, but then I was like, I really want to ask my dad about this.
uh-huh. Yeah. My
Dads
poor
are always
fiance, he'll be like
useful.
looking at something and I'm like, yeah, yeah, you can look at it. And like, meanwhile, I'm like texting my dad, like, what do we do?
We're calling the pro, we're calling dad. So tell me more. So how are you marketing the space? What have you, yeah, probably marketing mostly to start with. Who are
Yeah.
you attracting? How are they finding you? Niches in co-working can be surprisingly hard to market. I mean,
Yeah.
this model is becoming so much more popular. I mean, I'm trying to think if anybody else was in the mail challenge running this model, but we've had others on the podcast who are doing it. And I love it because it's so specific and it makes so much sense. The marketing piece can just be harder to combine like office space plus a specific niche or professional type. So, yeah, how do you find your clients or how do they find you?
When I started my private practice, I feel like it's so hard to, we're going back and forth, but I feel like this
Yeah,
can
right.
help.
Client acquisition was you were like you kind of started two businesses at once with totally different clients and business models. Yeah.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because when I started my private practice, I was so afraid of the ick of marketing. Like it made me
This is a
so,
healthcare professional problem because you are built to serve and you do not want to sell. You
right.
would prefer to work for free if you could, but but you can't.
Totally.
Yep.
Like how ridiculous of me to ask for money and not work
Right.
for free. Get
You're
out of
like
here.
changing lives, but yes.
Right. Right. So I was so uncomfortable by the
Mm,
idea of marketing, of selling myself. And what really worked for me, which I don't even think I realized till recently, what I did is build authentic connections in the community. So by being able to just like meet people and talk to them and like really share what I did, my passion would just come so quickly through that I didn't really have to sell myself, right? Like I was just building connections. And so with that, a lot of my private practice was built off of referrals in the community,
so good.
mostly being mental health referrals. Because the nutrition that I do is so mental health and like the why behind
Yeah.
nutrition and why we do the things that we do, it really made sense to be able to connect with the mental health providers in the area and really help them see how my services can support their clients and the work that they're doing with clients as well. So I'm like that add-on that just makes the
Yeah.
work that they're doing a lot more effective and
Yep.
helpful and supports their clients. So when opening a space, my brain just went, oh, well, I'll just use these people that I've already started to build relationships with. They're my network, they're my connection source. And they're also just like who I really want to be around and
Yeah.
love spending time with. So genuinely, it just all has come down to authentic connection.
I
Yeah.
love it.
How can I
Yeah.
build connection? How can I continue to build community? How can I host events that are going to bring in the people that I'm trying to target? And really, how can we make it such a beautiful space that friends are telling friends and people want to be a part of it?
Yeah.
Mm.
That's one of the things I think is so great about this model is I mean, where it doesn't exist, practitioners are still, I mean, in crappy, dumpy like offices. I mean, oftentimes, that they try to make look nice. And to your point, they have to find like an office mate. And it's challenging and not great. It's not great for them. It's not great for the clients. I mean, the other thing I love, like, again, maybe this is shout out to your Backtalk, your web company, but even, the things that you're talking about that are perfect for your clients on the website, like under your virtual plan, it says business address in parentheses, perfect for insurance paneling. Like you've identified like, okay, people tend to need a business address for this in my industry. And so I'll just tell them this works. Yeah, which I love. So you must have do you have kind of I'm sure you have a break even number for how many members, like with which plans that you need to like cover all your expenses. Are you there yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We hit our break even number and we're at 45 members right now, which feels really good.
That's wild
Yeah.
for 4 offices. So you have 45 members booking time. Okay. And yeah. Okay. What's happening? Or virtual
Yes,
members or yeah, tell us.
a good percentage of those are virtual members.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Also great.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Because you're kind of the perfect example of smaller space. You have 800 square feet. So you're going to cap out, it sounds like. But I didn't want to, make assumptions. So do you have capacity? Like, are you full in terms of how many members you have booking physical space? Not yet.
No, I wouldn't say yet. It's really just jived at this point, like knock on wood, we're going good. I mean, but I think I was even saying this morning that once we need more space, I will find more space. Like I don't see it being ever an issue. We'll adapt quickly
Yep.
because I, I don't want, I feel like I've built this trust with our clinicians and with our members.
Hmm.
I want to uphold that. And so I do believe,
Trust being there's space for you.
yeah,
So if you max out, so it's not, or so you're not necessarily building an empire, but you want to serve those who need space.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So is there room to expand in your building?
I don't know I think so.
Yeah, maybe.
So yeah.
Keeping an eye on things.
I I got some good scoop, right? I know
Totally.
some people.
Okay, so how do you manage, because it doesn't look like you're using like an office R&D. How do you manage the booking of the rooms?
I use Cobot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Cobot?
Yes, not many listeners will be familiar with Cobot. I mean, it's kind of old school, really configurable. I mean, I haven't, and suspect it's used more overseas, so not in the US, but
Yeah.
Europe, the UK. So yes, but I know it's very customizable, or at least that used to be kind of the brand promise.
Yeah. Yeah. The person that I consulted with
Yeah,
in Atlanta, that's what
that's
she
what she
used.
used. So you're like, okay, let's do
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Okay. And honestly, I was like this close to moving to Office R&D. And it doesn't mean I do think that eventually we're going to grow out of Cobot. I do believe that. But it offers a lot.
Yeah,
It really does.
yeah.
Would
And yes, don't solve a problem you don't really have yet.
totally.
Right? Yeah, keep
Yeah.
it simple.
Yeah.
Keep
Yeah.
it simple. So, okay, so most of your marketing is coming from referrals, it sounds like. No ads, no, and events. It looks like you're hosting events in the space.
Yeah, we do a lot of events, a lot of like posting in Facebook groups.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Because that is the advantage of a niche. Your ideal client congregates in groups on Facebook. So you
Yep.
can,
Yeah.
sort of market or answer a question if people have questions about where to see clients in person. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, like you might laugh at this. Google and ChatGPT.
That's how people find you.
Mhm. Searching in ChatGPT.
Yeah.
They're popping up. I've had at least
So
three or
good.
four people tell me that that's how they found us.
Okay, that's amazing. So I'm not going to pull up your Google business profile, but I'm guessing you have good reviews.
Yes, but they're all recent. They're all
Oh,
recent.
interesting.
Um,
Okay. Well,
some-
I mean, blogs? I'm trying to think of what your So I think the industry is just really starting to talk about how to try to show up through ChatGPT. Some of it seems to be sort of luck, but content on your site, references out there, and that may be, I don't think Facebook groups are crawlable, but I wonder if like Reddit conversations, things
Oh.
like that, which I wonder if your industry benefits from, because I do feel like the typical co-working space has a harder time like getting talked about. Like if you're kind of just generic and you serve just a general population, but for practitioners, clinicians, dietitians, et cetera, like probably that word of mouth, like, hey, where are you seeing clients? And that
Sure.
move into private practice is such a big shift. And so then like, okay, to your point, like start at home, but then that not all your clients want to see you at home or you don't want to be at home all the time. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
wonder if there's more online chatter about solutions and maybe ChatGPT's pulling that. I mean, I do think it's starting to happen. I was on a call with a client whose website, they have an agency that keeps manages the technical aspects of their website, and they were going through the search SEO report, and they said, okay, we can tell these like 6 people were from ChatGPT.
Oh,
So, and
funny.
they have a lot of blog content, so I think ChatGPT likes that too. So, good.
Sure. I
Yeah.
also used ChatGPT a lot when I was building the business.
Ooh, so interesting. Okay, tell me, give me some use cases.
I
I
mean,
can't believe that wasn't on my question list because I think I'm really into it right now and I want to know how other people are using it. Besides, yeah, what's going on with the spark plugs in my car, which I asked at this
sure,
point.
sure. I like to do a lot on my own, which is not a great thing. I need to be
A
better.
chronic DIYer. I call myself one of those. Yeah.
Totally, totally. And I don't delegate the way that I
This
need
is
to,
your dad's fault, by the way.
1,000%.
Yeah, I am similar because my dad, same thing. He was a dairy farmer and he just would fix everything himself. And it's so hardwired that, like, you just do it yourself. You figure it
Uh,
out. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep. For
yeah.
better or
I
worse.
I hired someone to spray yellow jackets a couple weeks ago. He lost his mind. He was like, I cannot believe that you paid for that. And I was like, I wasn't,
Right. The yellow
yeah,
jackets. We've crossed a line, dad.
totally, totally,
Yeah.
totally. So with that, I feel like I use ChatGPT as kind of like a coworker sometimes.
Hmm.
And I'll just ask it questions of
Like a
like,
thought partner. Like, hey, what do you
"Mhm,
think about this? What should I do about this? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Or say this better, or how can I explain this a little bit clearer? And so I'm curious if I gave it so much information that
Oh, it's
it,
marketing for you.
if it
It's like, oh
really
my
knows
gosh,
what
this
we
woman,
do.
Samantha's fabby. I love the work she's doing.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell other people about her. You
totally.
never know. You're hilarious. I don't think that's how it works, but I mean, it does. If you don't have that setting turned off, I just turned off a setting. Yeah. I mean, maybe that's possible if you're talking to it about your business and the practice collective, and here's what we do. And I'm thinking about this. Maybe. Hmm.
Well, I also was using the free version for a while.
Hmm.
I didn't know that, it steals a lot of your information
Yeah.
in the free version. I don't anymore. I pay for my ChatGPT
And
now.
$20 a month is the best $20 you could spend, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I don't think I realized that I was giving it. So since I was doing it that way, I mean, wasn't I just giving that information
Yeah.
to,
You're training it, but
yeah,
that might have worked in your benefit.
yeah.
Yeah. Hilarious. Okay, I love it. I love it. Yes, and starting 2 businesses at once. Okay, so this was not on my list of questions, but tell me how you spend your day. So how much time are you spending on seeing clients versus working on the co-working business? How does that
Yeah.
look?
Yeah. I'd say it's still more time is spent in my nutrition practice than it is in the co-working space. And for the most part, the nutrition practice is bringing in more than the co-working space still,
Sure. Yeah.
which eventually I would love that number to like switch
Mm-hmm.
because when I think of, and another reason why I wanted the co-working space is the nutrition practice requires me, right? Like I
Yeah.
have to be sitting there, I have to be showing up where, you know, that takes a lot of my time and energy. And that's how I'm making money, right?
Yeah.
So I really wanted another way that I could bring in income that didn't require me to be face to face with someone.
Yeah.
But I would still say, I've been in a season of like a lot of business development. So I started my nutrition practice when I was 28. I'm 33 now, and I felt that I had this fear of like, okay, I'm going into entrepreneurship young, and like, how can
Mm-hmm.
I make sure that I have a
Mm.
ton of support behind me and so that I really know what I'm doing because I'm losing a lot of those opportunities for mentorship in a more traditional setting.
Yeah.
So I have just finished the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses
That's
program.
right. That is on my list. And I'm glad you brought it up because I've been distracted and not looking at my. Yes, I've
Oh,
heard
yeah.
Kim Lee, who is our coach in the Mail Challenge, went through it. Mara Hauser
Okay.
went through it a long time ago. Yeah. Okay. Tell me more about that.
Loved it. Great
It's like an
program.
MBA. It's like a mini MBA. Yeah.
Totally. Totally. And so I graduated 2 weeks ago, and I feel like I'm now starting to transition into like restructuring my days because I've been
Mhm.
in such a season of learning and just sitting in class,
Mhm.
really just trying to soak up as much as I can. But I would say that still like the percentage is pretty strong in the nutrition practice.
Mhm.
And my goals right now are to automate automate it a little bit more so that I'm able to take a little bit more of a step back,
Yep.
hoping that 6 months or so from now, like in the April or so of next year, that I'm really able to focus on growing the co-working space and having the nutrition practice like all set up and stable and doesn't really need as much of me anymore, but more so
Yep.
operating on its own. Because I see the future being the co-working space.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Juicy. Okay.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about the Goldman Sachs program. What made you, so it sounds like you wanted a learning opportunity. If somebody's listening and they're thinking about it, like who is it best for? Like, is it a stage? Is it, yeah, how would you describe it for someone?
Yeah. I don't know how they do it in every city, but specifically, I'm in Detroit. So, specifically in Detroit, you have to be doing a certain number in revenue. I want to say it's
Mm.
$75,000 a year.
Okay.
And you have to be in business for 3 years or more and have two employees. I want to say
Okay.
that's the requirements. There was such a range of folks in the program, though. Such a range, so much wisdom. You're learning from like these really badass instructors, but then you're in a group of 30 entrepreneurs in your local ecosystem, like
Wow.
that are in some level of a similar stage to you in
Mm-hmm.
business. And so it feels like such a powerhouse. They it's extensive. They ask for a lot from us, but in a lot of ways I appreciate that because you're sitting in class for a full day for 14 weeks. So it's not every day. It's
Yep.
usually like one full day and one half day a week.
Wow.
But that's a lot of time to just be sitting and absorbing
Mm-hmm.
and connecting and like really like giving you that time to learn, but also to think and expand and come into different ideas. So I don't think I can't imagine someone wouldn't benefit from it,
Yep.
truthfully.
Yeah, it sounds, I do have an MBA already, but the
Mhm.
thing I don't have today is like, yeah, 30 other entrepreneurs in my little ecosystem that I could connect with, which I feel like you go through phases where sometimes that's the perfect thing you need for inspiration or just connection and
Yeah.
growth. Yeah, very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, okay, do you have two employees? Do you have people who was that a
They say to employees, but you can also stretch it a little bit. So you can use family members, you can use contractors, you can use like bookkeepers, accounting support.
Okay.
different like fractional support that you had.
Fractional team members, exactly, which we all have, and is a lot of the ways people get things done, right? Like today with I use so many resources on Upwork. Like, yeah, I can't hire, I don't need to hire full time much of anything. So
Yeah,
yeah, but still requires leadership and business planning and all those things. Very
sure.
cool. Yeah. And your space is not staffed.
It's not. No,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not.
It's not going to be at 800 square feet. I mean, I think even Therapy Space is one that's pretty well known. Are
Yeah.
they in Detroit?
They have a location. Yes. A little bit
Yeah.
outside Detroit. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think they have 2,000 square feet. They're like typical floor plate, I think. And I think they have an ambassador at their locations, but also not
Mhm.
staffed. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I- it's too hard I can't imagine it, right? Like it's flowing right now, and that's
Yeah.
as long as it's flowing, I'm like,
Yep.
we won't mess with it, right?
Right. And you have the systems in place. I presume you onboard members and you train them in how to reserve space and what it looks like. And then do their clients come and sit in the common area and just kind of wait for them to, yeah, come
Mhm.
out and
Yeah. Yeah, everyone has their own access code. So everyone being the members have their own
yeah,
access code to come into this space. So they're able to come in, get cozy. Their clients can come in with if they are leaving the door open. And then when they leave, they just shut the door
yeah,
and that's how it functions.
yeah. I mean, I love it for that reason. And you can be profitable with a smaller space because you have to hit a certain square footage for it to make any sense to have staff.
Sure.
So, and for some models, it's like, well, for a generic space, is it interesting enough? Although we have, I have to look and see exactly where she is. We just had somebody go through the mail challenge in this cohort. She's in Michigan,
Hmm.
called the Foundry. Vina Body is her name, and she has a smaller space, and it's all part-time private offices. So also largely unstaffed. I think she's there often, but it's not like formally staffed. So it's
Yeah,
not for therapists, but it's in a smaller market, and I also love that model. It's just really flexible and lower overhead, which is great. So
sure.
I know
Yeah.
I might have to make connections. And have you ever met Amanda Lewin from Bamboo?
Yes. I
Yeah,
have. Amanda's
Amanda's really
great.
cool. Yes. Okay, tell us. So it sounds like you did your due diligence and got some coaching before you started, which is what everyone should do because it's like you can sort of reverse engineer the model, right? But you don't really like there's a lot of detail and assumptions that you could make. Like if you
Yeah.
just done this on your own without the woman in Atlanta, like you
Sure.
would have probably made a bunch of mistakes that you would have figured out eventually, probably.
Sure.
But anything that you've learned along the way that kind of surprised you that you would share?
I had no idea that virtual offices were a thing when I started it.
Go. Fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that absolutely has been the biggest surprise. I did not know that that was a thing.
I know. Most people don't. And I love that so tell me, yeah, what was your thought process around adding that? And you mentioned it's contributing to your membership, which is great because you have a smaller location and you joined our mail challenge
Yeah.
last fall, which is so fun. That's how I got to know you. So yeah, what made you think, oh, we should do this and build this as a revenue stream or even just to serve your clients?
Yeah. I don't even remember how I first heard of it. I initially just thought of it as like a way of having community. I didn't even really think of like just buying into the community space
Yeah.
and connection.
Hmm.
I didn't see the market for actual
Like a
address.
business address. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. But especially within this space, I mean, you don't want someone to be able to Google your name and your
Right.
address,
Home address. Right. Yep.
right? So it was pretty instantaneous. And also, there's a lot that happens with insurance reimbursement, like we were talking about, and the insurance companies want to know that you have a space to see clients too.
Yep.
So even if clients aren't coming in, or even if members aren't coming in and using the space on a regular basis, they have us as a backup if they need to see clients
Yep.
there to, make to support their clients, but also if it needs to make insurance happy as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And also anyone who's sending invoices, like back to your point, like that's why I finally got a virtual address. I was like, I don't want to put my home address on, my invoices anymore.
Yeah,
Uh, and so to your point, like all of your members have, and even if they use like an invoicing system, which I'm sure people do too, invoice
sure.
clients, it's like, well, you have to have an address in there somewhere. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, even to
yeah,
send email newsletters, you have to have a physical address on it.
that's
So,
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you decided to go through the mail challenge. Tell me a little bit about like what your goals were and what you got out of it.
Yeah. I really just wanted to understand how to do it, right? Like the
I know it
back
seems very
end.
mysterious before you start. Yes.
So mysterious and it feels so complicated. And it kind of is, but the mail challenge helped it just make sense. There was a lot of rules, there was a lot of steps. My brain loves that. So, yeah, I mean, we still utilize what we learned in the mailbox challenge as we're onboarding clients, trying to get new clients today. It's a great revenue stream. It's a great way to bring on new people. Managing mail isn't that hard. Yeah, I'm so glad that we went through that.
And you do the mail management yourself?
I
Okay.
do. Yeah. And I am I don't allow for a ton of flexibility with it. So I'm really like letting people know when they can come pick it up.
You're in
There's-
charge. Yep. You just put the parameters in place that work for you. Love it.
Yeah, we don't have someone there all the time, right?
Yep.
And there was a time when I was doing the mailbox challenge where it was like, I'm going to hire someone to be able to man this, to manage it. It hasn't gotten to the point yet where people are demanding their mail. And I think if someone was like really on top of like wanting their mail immediately, that could change.
Or they might be not be the right customer for you. That would could be fine too, right? Because it's working, it's simple, low requirement for you. I would also guess it's probably a way for you, maybe more than other general co-working spaces, as an like a way into your community. Like they're not ready for office space yet. Maybe they're just starting their private practice, but they need the address or they want to be a
Mhm.
part of the community. So that's an entry point for them.
Yeah, yeah, it's connection that they wouldn't otherwise have, right?
Yeah.
Like going into your own practice is scary and lonely. And I think it's just like that little bit of connection of feeling support and like, okay, I can come to this space if I need it. And I'm so glad we get to offer that.
Yeah, I love it. Okay. What's your favorite thing about your space?
The people, the people for sure. There's a lot of like looking around sometimes, and it's like I go into like proud mom mode.
Aw.
These
Yeah.
people together, right? Like there's something really cool about that. I love just like meeting someone somewhere and then I find out that like they see their therapist through our space. I'm like, that's the coolest thing
Like
ever.
they know of you because they've been in and yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I think like the whole reason why we started it, right? For community and the people and seeing that connection like happen in real time is the best part, hands down.
Have you changed your packages since you've opened, like kind of the buckets that people can buy into, or did you kind of get that right from the beginning?
We pivoted a bit. In June, I got rid of our founders rates. So we had founders rates for about a year and a half. And then we increased our rates to what feels a little bit more sustaining in June. It really hasn't slowed down people coming in. So that tells me that it was a needed raise.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, And yeah, it took me a second, right? Like the selling piece, but we were able to pivot and it feels a little bit more sustainable now.
Got it. Okay, so it looks like the biggest package I can buy a day a week.
Just about. The
Okay.
biggest package is 32 hours a month.
Okay. Oh, now I see. It's like okay, the 2 half days actually gets you up to 32 hours a month. Interesting. Okay. And that
Yeah.
works.
Yeah, it's worked so far. And there, I we've had people ask for bigger packages, but I don't want to offer that,
Mm.
especially in the space that we're at right now, just because I want it to be able to happen where people are flowing in and out. And so my motto at this point with what our capacity is
Yep.
if you need more than that, we're probably not the space for you.
Ooh, okay. Okay. Could
Yeah,
you see that changing over time, or do you think this will, yeah.
1,000%. Yes. I envision a location that has like actual private offices that people use full
Could be
time.
dedicated. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I envision that. I envision having a lot more space to be able to rent out on a part-time basis, just an expansion of what we're currently
Mm-hmm.
doing. I always kind of called our current location a pilot. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if I said that to you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
consider it kind of a pilot that's
Yeah.
just there is an easy way in. It's going really well. I like it. It feels in alignment with what my personal and professional goals are. And so now we just get to see how we can scale it.
Yeah. And now you know all the operational aspects, how to bill people, how the scheduling works. You've proven demand and at a lower risk, and you could keep your, day job.
Yeah.
You could really see if it works. Yeah, without kind of going all in.
Yeah.
But at some point, you're going all in, it
I think
sounds
so.
like.
I think so. Yeah.
So in the Goldman Sachs program, did you have to sort of pick, like, did you work on like the co-working space or the nutrition practice?
Yeah. So I came into it with my nutrition practice.
Okay.
I came into it with the nutrition practice, but I can't have one without the right. They're existing together, they're
Yep.
flowing together, and they support each other in a lot of ways too.
Mm-hmm.
There
Yeah.
is a lot of connection there. So they were pretty flexible with me with allowing my brain to kind of go one to
From
the
one to the
other.
other. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And also like that it like that's real life for me, right?
I
Is
think it's real life for a lot of people. I was listening to a podcast this morning with a woman, and she called it like a portfolio of not businesses exactly, but she's, writes and she speaks and then she does some coaching. And she's like,
yeah,
well, none of them are the only thing that she would do. She can't sustain herself only on the writing, but the speaking is, so
yeah,
she called it like a portfolio, which I like because that's kind of what you're doing right now. You mean maybe you'll never get rid of your client practice because that's really fulfilling for you, but you could, shift the balance, like what you spend most time on. Yeah.
totally, totally. Yeah,
Yeah, I love it. Okay, let's see. My wrap up question for you.
yeah.
If you were, so you're almost 2 years in. When is your anniversary?
September, gosh, I never somewhere
You're
around the
fine.
20th. I always
That's
forget the
hilarious. There are people who know, there's a woman who went through our startup school and she makes a big deal out of her anniversary every year. And I always laugh because I'm like, just not that person. But I love to see when people are, I totally appreciate it. But yes, I'm never the one who's like, yeah. I run our soccer league and it's our 50th anniversary for our town having this rec league. I
Yeah,
told I told the group, I'm like, unfortunately, this is like I have to do it because it's my job, but I could care less. Like I'm not one to like the ceremony. They're like, they want me to get the mayor and do all the things. And I'm like, oh geez. Just a
sure.
personality type thing.
Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah.
almost 2 years in, well, what advice would you give someone who's just starting? Like if they're sort of sitting in your shoes a couple of years ago, what would you tell them?
Do it. Yeah, do
Without
it.
knowing all the answers, but do your homework.
Yes, without knowing all the and my kryptonite is needing to know all the answers, right? Like,
Mm.
not we know that that's not a positive trait that I have, right? I need to work through that totally. I don't need to have all the answers, especially as an entrepreneur, but I just love doing things very calculated. And yeah, I totally wish I would have done it with a little bit more, made it a little bit more scrappy. And I think it would have worked
Mm.
just as well, right? Like we don't have to have it all figured out.
Not everything figured out, but I love that you knew what you were getting into. And you might sort of say, well, I could have, done it like a little less perfect or scrappy, but I think there's a lot to be said for knowing what you're getting into and that it aligned with your goals at the time and it wasn't too much risk or too little, too little risk. You could make it work for what you wanted to accomplish.
Yeah. And something that the Goldman Sachs program talks about a lot too is making it work for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the biggest thing,
Yeah.
right? Like coming back to like the focus of like, why am I doing this? Does this work for me? Is it, yes, this could help me financially and financial goals, but like, is this values aligned for what I want for
Yep.
my future?
Yeah. And even lifestyle, like not having to staff it. Like you probably don't want to sit at a front desk every day. And so you'll
Totally.
work that into how you structure the business. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
This was awesome. Thank you for sharing your story. And I really look forward to following your journey and seeing, what's next,
Thank
and
you.
how you evolve.
Thanks. This was so fun.
Good, good, good. Thank you, Samantha. Until next time.